And tonight from Safeco Field, Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by Bon Macy's, Better Together, by Dodge, Grab Life, by the Horns, by Safeco Insurance. To find a local independent Safeco agent, visit www.safeco.com. And by Nextel. Done. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. Well, it will come to an end Sunday afternoon, somewhere around 4 o'clock. But here on this Friday evening, as we have a look down the right field line, Mariner President Chuck Armstrong is going to deliver a bouquet to Frances Sisler Drockelman, the daughter of George Sisler, the man who currently has the record by one thin hit at 257 that he established in 1920. Other members of the Sisler family down there. That gentleman right there is a great-grandson of George, Brian Drockelman. And it's great to have the Sisler family in attendance here this evening. Hopefully to sit in on a piece of history. Isn't she a lovely lady? So the Mariners just entering the field moments ago, and they did it in a little bit of an unusual fashion. They had their own pom-poms to run through down there to head out onto the field for the final series here against the Texas Rangers. Coming home from a very fine road trip. A road trip that saw them win 6 out of 10 games. All eyes are on Ichiro tonight. And, of course, tomorrow night it will be Edgar's turn to be honored. And what an emotional night that will be tomorrow night. And then the Kids Appreciation Day on Sunday, the final game of the year.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the starting lineup for the Texas Rangers. It'll be Eric Young, followed by Blaylock, then Michael Young. Then will be Teixeira, Mensch, Nix, and then out there on the mound, Ron Vallone. This will be his 10th start of the year. His first start since back in August 25th, a game that he started, and lifetime mark of 1-0 against the Texas Rangers. Very quickly, it'll be Wynn, Reed, and Ichiro in the outfield. Dobbs, Lopez, Boone, Ibanez at first base, Wilson behind the plate. And on the mound, Ron Vallone with a record of 7-6.
And we're set to go as Eric Young, the second baseman, leads it off and takes one right down the middle. 54 degrees at game time. The delivery is down low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here's Joe West, the man calling balls and strikes tonight. Mike DeMuro at first base, Paul Emmel at second. And the breaking ball high and inside. Your old Cousins is down at third. Be sure and stay with us. I'm sure you will. We will keep you up to date on all the races that are left as we go into this final weekend. The National League wild card is still up for grabs, and of course the big game, the Western Division crown, will be decided in a 2-of-3 series in Oakland. Game 1 tonight. Ball 4 inside to Eric Young. And Hank Blaylock will be the hitter. Our text messaging promotion rolls on, but a different twist. Live voting tonight. Tonight's question: how many hits will Ichiro have at the end of the season after Sunday afternoon? A, 256 and 258. B, 259 to 261. Or C, over 262 hits. Swing and a miss by Hank Blaylock. Here's how to play. On your cell phone, select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. For complete rules, you can log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost you 50 cents. And the delivery misses, and count 1 ball and 1 strike. Tune in to tomorrow's pregame show to see if you're a winner of an Edgar Martinez autographed baseball. Blaylock has worn the Mariners out this year. Change. Nicely thrown that time.
Good off speed. Yeah, good off speed pitch that time. You can see Blaylock, who normally swings very hard, did not have a very good swing at all.
And 6-10 against Texas, 4-3 here. And the Mariners, you say play the role of spoilers. That's exactly what they did on this last road trip, beating the Angels 2 out of 3. They basically took the Texas Rangers out of the race.
Well, I agree with it. But you know what, Dave? If you look back in that previous homestand, when the Mariners started playing, the Cleveland Indians were a contending team, the Red Sox, of course, and all.
Blaylock can't find the breaking ball.
Way out in front of that off-speed pitch. But at the same time, you take a look from that, even the last homestand, that long homestand the Mariners had. Mariners have been playing pretty good baseball. They've been playing very good teams, and they've held their own. And that guy right there has gone crazy.
He's hit Ryan Dries well this year. However, he did not get a hit off of him last Sunday in the 9-0 Mariner win. Great night for baseball. Just a little crispness in the air. 54 degrees. Been a beautiful day here in the Northwest. And that sinker is at the knees for a strike. The Mariners were gone only 10 days, but it was startling when we got off the plane early last evening of how much the leaves have changed in the 10 days the Mariners have been gone. On to the count. And low and outside to Michael Young, who now has the Texas Ranger record for most hits in one year, breaking Mickey Rivers' record of 210. Michael has 212 this year. And a strike at the knees. So see you later, Michael Young. The Mariners arrived yesterday at Boeing Field aboard Edgar Martinez, number 11. That was last evening as that 757 taxis. There it is. Edgar Martinez, number 11, on the side of the fuselage. And there he is coming down. The fire truck greeted the plane with its there his kids coming up to see him, welcome him. Final flight for Edgar. Mark Teixeira with the count 1-0. Foul back and out of play. Teixeira with those 37 home runs, been on 37 for a while. He would become the youngest switch hitter to ever hit 38 if he does this weekend. It's been 12 games since he hit number 37. And that fastball low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, average wise, he's a better hitter batting right-handed, a 300 hitter on the year. But he's done most of his damage batting left-handed. 28 of his 37 home runs have been hit while hitting left-handed. He's hit only 9 from this side of the plate.
And that ball is hit to deep left center field, and that baby is going to go bounce over, and there it is. Number 38 for Mark Teixeira. He becomes the youngest switch hitter in history to have 38 home runs at the age of 24. Mark Teixeira. We mentioned it's been a while. And for the Mariners now, that is the 209th home run that they have given up this year.
Not much doubt about that. High fastball, good arm extension. And obviously he got the fat part of the bat of the ball, because that just did clear But that's the big part of the ballpark. He had to hit that pretty good.
So Kevin Mentz will be the hitter. Want to know. Anaheim and Oakland just getting underway down at the Coliseum. 1-1. Cubs lost today. Well, they've fallen apart, haven't they? That's coming back and out of play as Atlanta beat them 5-4 at Wrigley Field. Very high and outside. And that's low, and already 22 pitches thrown by Malone here in the first inning. Mr. Dobbs throws a little low, but it's pulled off the ground by Raul Ibanez, and the side is retired. 2-run home run by Teixeira. Texas has 2. Ichiro coming up. Well, with George Sisler's family in attendance, there's the man that wants Mr. Sisler's record, and he's got 3 games in which to get 2 hits. He's chasing Sisler. He has 256. The last time he faced Ryan Drees, who's out there on the mound for the Texas Rangers, he went 0 for 3. And there's the let it blow. But Mount St. Helens going up again today. Ichiro trying to let it rip.
And look at this, Dave. The fans here at Safeco Field is standing ovation for Ichiro.
What a wonderful, wonderful sight. Everybody on their feet, hoping that this at bat might be the one that gets the tie. It's been quite a story. Look at the flash bulbs in the stadium. Fastball, a strike to him.
You know what? It might be a distraction because every pitch thrown to him, you're going to have thousands of these light flashes take off.
Foul back and out of play, and every pitch will draw an ooh and an ah.
Will the Texas Rangers pitch to him? Yes, they will. But are they going to try to get him out? Absolutely.
Again on the precipice of history here.
And look at the light bulb. I tell you what, Kodak's going to sell a lot of film tonight.
Two strikes on him. And a ground ball, one out, there it is. There's the tie. There's number 257. And listen to the crowd. And the chant, Ichiro, Ichiro. And again, acknowledging the crowd.
Take another curtain call.
Absolutely. It only happens once every 84 years. Look at Mrs. Sisler. Actually, Mrs. Drockelman. Drockelman. Frances Sisler Drockelman. George Sisler's daughter. Boy, it's great to have them here to see that tonight.
Didn't take long either.
Don't do what George Brett did, Ichiro, on his 3,000th hit.
That's right. He got picked off.
Down low. 1 ball and no strikes. 257 hits. Can you believe it? And a line drive base hit into left center field. Ichiro will pull up at second. So Randy Wynn pushes Ichiro down to second. And now listen to the greeting for number 11. Tonight and tomorrow night will be the sweetest 2 games of the year. Sunday will be big too because it'll be Kids Day here. But tonight, Ichiro gets 257 and he's only had 1 at bat. And tomorrow night, Edgar will get his due. Want to know the count.
The fans are going to get a lot of exercise tonight because they're going to be up and down all night long. Congratulating both Ichiro and Edgar.
And a ground ball pull foul. High chopper right over the third baseman, Blaylock, for number 257. Two and one. Towering pop-up infield fly rule is called. So 1 down. Here's Ichiro leading it off. This was number 257. High chopper right out in front of the plate, right over the third baseman. And history is made. History is tied. Blaylock cannot get up and get it. We've seen a lot of hits like that.
Well, I tell you, and look at the reaction of the guys in the dugout. Everybody down there pulling for it.
Good to see Bucky Jacobson down there too. Bucky on crutches. There he is. There's a big guy from Hermiston, Oregon. Says he's ahead of schedule on his rehab and should be ready to go in the spring. Grease. There's a gentleman here from Tokyo who has seen the Mariners play 35 times this year, going back and forth across the Pacific. He's seen them play here. He's seen them play in Minnesota. He's such a fan. There's a ground ball base hit, and around third comes Ichiro. He'll hold there as Kevin Mench fires it back in. Ball hit too sharply. So Raul Ibanez back at that 300 mark.
Last couple of months have been outstanding for Raul. Solid base hit this time between the first and second baseman. Now has a 6-game hitting streak. You can see Ichiro, nobody out. You don't want to risk being thrown out. I take it out. There's one out. Still, the ball was hit hard, and Mench was right on top of it. But Ichiro wisely stayed at third base, because had he tried to score, I think Mench had a good shot to get him.
So here's Booney. Boone, who has the only Mariners Grand Slam home run this year. Why not one on closing weekend? Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boone is going to have LASIK eye surgery on October the 18th in Southern California. One hopper, double play ball around the horn. There's one, and a relay back to first. The double play, and the Mariners are denied a run, but they had a very historical hit here in the first inning. Ichiro ties George Sisler up 19-20 with that chopper right over the third baseman Blaylock. It's 1-0 Texas. Strikes on him, and a ground ball, 100. There it is. There's the tie. There's number 257, and listen to the crowd. One of the unbelievable moments in Mariners history, if not baseball history, that high chopper for the base hit, as Brian Jordan has taken a cut and a miss here leading off the second inning. Tremendous athlete, Brian Jordan.
Nice play by one of the fans down the left field line.
Anaheim has a 4-0 lead over Oakland in the second inning.
Whoever wins 2 out of 3 down there, that's it.
So down on strikes is Brian Jordan. 3 strikeouts for the lone. Early returns on our question, on our text messaging, about how many hits Ichiro will have by the time the season's over on Sunday. 52% says somewhere between 259 and 261, the leaders. And we've had over 1,000 votes already. Call that number, 86212. Strike on the inside corner. .259 to .261. I think I'd go with C. Might go with C.
Well, the thing is, I mean, after he breaks it, think he might take the last day of the season off? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, I would imagine he's going to play, but I mean, after you've broken the record that stands for 84 years.
Boone throws out Chad Allen. So 2 down. Thing of it is, Red, as you have a look at Ichiro, it would not surprise me to see him break his own record.
Next year.
Next year, or 2 years, 3 years, whatever. He's that good a hitter.
Well, you know, if you look back, he had a lousy April and a so-so May. I mean, he was hitting, what was he hitting? 240, 250? He wasn't hitting very much. But then again, can you have back-to-back months where you're hitting almost 500, though? I mean, that might be a little tough to do. But certainly, I mean, if you talk to Ichiro, he says, you know, if I can get 260 hits, why couldn't I do it again? I mean, that's the way he kind of looks at things.
Next with 2 strikes on it. In the month ended yesterday, September, he ended up with 44 hits. Giants leading the Dodgers 2-0. Giants must sweep the Dodgers to tie the Dodgers for the National League West. They're down 3.
Now, if you were to say that Ichiro might hit 400 next year, that would really be a feat. And could he do it? Yeah.
Off the handle of the bat, foul.
I mean, I think that's the next goal for Ichiro. I mean, he's done just about everything else. Most hits in a 4-year stretch, which, by the way, we haven't talked about that yet. He has 919 hits in the last 4 years, and he just passed Bill Terry on that list. But I think 400. Yeah, he's the style of hitter, the kind of hitter. Yeah, he probably could hit 400.
By the way, 220 singles.
That's ridiculous. That's up there. I mean, that's a totally different.
And you're really pulling for Ichiro to score there in the first inning, because he's 1 run away from scoring 100 runs for the 4th consecutive year. Yeah. Dropped down on him and got the sinker on the inside corner. Strikes out Mr. Nix. So when we come back, it'll be Reed, Dobbs, and Wilson. 2 behind him, Ichiro. Pick up a copy. Visit any Mariners team store. Jeremy Reed taking a strike as he leads it off here in the 2nd inning. One. Fly ball into left center, and Nix will have an easy play on it. So 1 away. Greg Dobbs, the hitter. Great crowd tonight, sitting in on history. If you just tuned our way, Ichiro did get number 257 in his first at bat. And there's Francis Sisler Drockelman. the daughter of George. Out there with sons Bo and Peter. Rick Sisler, a grandson of Dick Sisler, is there, along with great-grandson Brian Drockelman. And Chad Allen will have no problem taking care of that ball, popped up by Dobbs. And there's the whole family. That young man on the left is the great-grandson Brian. I think they're talking to somebody in St. Louis about what's happening right now. You better believe it. Gorgeous George, he was known that. What a year he had. 1920 hit .407. Played in every game. And yet there was a guy named Ruth that hit 54 home runs that year that took all the publicity away from him.
Kind of took the thunder away, didn't it? And then Ruth came back in 1921 and hit 59 home runs. I think the two greatest years, back-to-back seasons, had to be Ruth in 1920 and 21. Numbers that he established. Of course, Barry Bonds put back-to-back years that guy's put together, and they're pretty awesome too. Interesting note, Dave. 1950, it was Dick Sisler who hit a home run the final day of the season against the Dodgers, and it was the Whiz Kids that went to the World Series. And an interesting play. It was it was either bottom of the ninth or bottom of the 10th inning, I believe it was.
Up the middle, great stop there, but an overthrow, not quite an overthrow, but it pulls Teixeira off the bag. Michael Young made a super stop, and Dan Wilson has an infield hit.
Look at it one more time. Outstanding play for Young just to get to the ball, and that's pretty tough to throw accurately in that kind of a position, and going well behind the bag at second. Look at that, off balance and kind of guessing as to where that ball is going to end up. So Dan with a base hit. But getting back in that 1950, it was in the 10th inning that Dick Sisler hit a home run against the Dodgers, and the Phillies beat the Dodgers. Otherwise, the Dodgers would have gone to the World Series. But in the 9th inning, Pee-wee Reese was at second base, and the Phillies were going to put on a pickoff play, and the center fielder Richie Ashburn came in, was kind of charging because he thought the pickoff play was going to take place, and they didn't put the pick off. They threw the ball to the plate. Duke Snider singled to center field, and Ashburn, playing very shallow center field, caught the ball one hop and then threw Reese out at the plate.
The Whiz Kids of Mayo Smith, right?
Yep.
Jim Constanti, as I recall, was the Cy Young Award winner.
The Phillies, yeah.
Willie Puddinhead Jones.
I don't know.
Ichiro next.
1950. Did they have a Cy Young Award then?
Get the force out at second base, so Ichiro will lead off the third as we go to the top half of the third. Huckabee, Young, and Blaylock. 2-0. Ken Huckabee is swinging a miss. Rod Barajas, a regular catcher of the Rangers, is on the shelf. He has back spasms. Malone's been on a strikeout tear. He has 4 of them in 2 innings.
Well, he's changed speed, and he's pretty much kept the ball away from the Rangers, and there have been some kind of funny swings up there thus far.
Malone again will be a free agent at the end of the year. Done a heck of a job this year in about every capacity. Ichiro falls down off the top. Wouldn't that have been something? He hurts himself. He almost went back into the stands. Wouldn't that have been something to hurt himself? Oh my gosh.
Look at it again. He's going to run up, get on top of the stands like that, and then all of a sudden coming down. Look at this. Ichiro You don't have to go to the 5th or 6th row to catch a ball. Easy, pal.
Huckabee is swing and a miss.
That's 5 strikeouts now for Vallone. Yeah.
Our results on our poll about how many hits Ichiro is going to have when it's all over. 50% of them saying somewhere between 259, 260, and 261, right in the middle there. For complete rules, you can log on to foxsports.com on MSN, key in word Northwest, and then select A, B, or C, and each text message will cost you 50 cents. And tune in tomorrow's pregame show to see if you're a winner of an Edgar Martinez autographed baseball. Eric Young taking down low. Only 15% in that lower bracket, A. Two and two on Eric Young. He walked in the first and then came home on the 2-out. Mark Teixeira, home run. And lines it this time right at Randy Wynn. So 2 down. How about that? Every hit. 257 of them on display up there. The upper deck. Blaylock wails away and comes up empty.
They're going to add to that too. They're all set.
High fly ball hit into right center field, and Jeremy Reed is there, and Ichiro is on his way to history perhaps. He's already made a bit of it. How about breaking the record this at bat? Don't you dare miss it. He's up first. Ichiro, his first trip to the plate. There it is. Number 257 as he chops it almost off the plate over the third baseman, right over Blaylock and into the history books. There are his teammates congratulating him. And he's going to be leading off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Another look at number 257. Little reaction from Ichiro. Fireworks and a tip of the cap, the acknowledgement. And when he gets 258, there'll be a bigger pyrotechnic show than that, I guarantee you. Francis Drockelman, George Sisler's daughter, in attendance with the Sisler family. And Ichiro given a standing ovation as he steps up, dead even with George Sisler.
And once again, the light bulbs. The flashing of the bulbs.
Out of play. Ichiro really got this thing on track in the first stop of the road trip in Anaheim, where he had 11 base hits in that series.
Yeah, he had 2 hits the first night, 5 the second, went 5 for 5 the second game, and had 4 hits in that third game. I think that's the series that really set him up.
One and one. And a ground ball, it's foul that time, a little bit down the third base line.
Boy, he's had so many hits down that third base line that seems like he's got that third base bag zeroed in. And his teammates, everybody on the Mariner ball club. There's nobody sitting down in the dugout. They're up on the front step. They want to watch hit number 258.
2-2. Backdoor slider too far outside, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a ground ball back in the middle, and there it is. He's the new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258. My, oh my! The usually staid, unemotional Ichiro Suzuki with a huge smile on his face, and I'm sure a huge load lifted off his shoulders as the pressure has mounted here incredibly in the last couple of weeks. And with misty eyes, there is George Sisler's daughter clapping for the new hit champion of all time. Ichiro with 258 hits. It didn't take him long, did it? His first 2 at-bats here in game number 160. And you know what? I'm glad he didn't break the record in Oakland, aren't you?
And Dave, he's going over to Mrs. Drockelman and congratulating her and showing his appreciation for her attending tonight's game.
That's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. What a class act. You're darn right she's got tears in her eyes. And Ichiro acknowledging the sellout crowd.
At the same time, the Texas Rangers infielders all doffed their cap to Ichiro, saying congratulations.
One of the great moments in baseball history right here. A record that really was kind of laying in dust piles. It laid in dust piles for 84 years. And finally, this young man from Japan comes in and establishes the new mark. 258 hits. Absolutely incredible. And again, they're going to ask him to doff his cap, his batting helmet. He does. You kind of wonder what is going on inside that chest right now, don't you? What a year for Ichiro. You don't think this will be the first 15 minutes of every newscast in Tokyo tomorrow? Actually, it's what time is it there? It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
yeah,
something like that.
Right around noonish.
It is noon Saturday there. Around noon. So finally, the smoke is still with us as Randy Wynn takes outside. 2 more singles. 221. And that's looped down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. And Ichiro's going to hit third. And he is 90 feet away from scoring his 100th run of the year for the 4th consecutive year. So he's getting it all done in one night here. He hasn't gotten that one done yet. Randy Wynn thumbs one into right field.
Yeah, picks up his 2nd hit. 3-game hitting streak for Randy Wynn. Looks like the fog setting in here in Seattle, but it's just the smoke from the fireworks.
Edgar takes the pitch inside. And that's lined into left field. Here comes Ichiro with his 100th run of the year. And we are tied at 1-1. I beg your pardon, we're not tied. It's 2-1. 2-1 home run in the first by Teixeira. The Mariners are back by 1. Edgar Martinez drives in his 63rd run of the year.
And that's hit number 7 already for the Mariners off of Ryan Drees. Look at it one more time. Wanted it down low and outside. Didn't quite get it outside. Got it down halfway decent, but too much to the plate. Edgar hit that very nicely into left field.
And that ball is drilled into the gap in right center field. And that's going to go to the wall. Now we're going to be tied as Randy Wynn scores. Edgar Martinez to third. Falling down, rounding second base, Raul Ibanez. But nobody's back out at the bag at second. So he crawls back up and gets back to the bag. So a 2-2 tie now. And people going absolute bonkers here tonight.
That's 4 hits in a row for the Mariners. Raul Ibanez seems to wear out Ryan Drees. This time he sticks one in the gap into right center field. Raul Ibanez against Drees is now 8 for 22. See Raul rounding the bag, having to put the brakes on because there's no way Edgar's going to try to score from first base on the double.
So Oral Hershiser out there. And John Wasden gets up and starts to throw for Texas in the pen. The Angels eliminated the Texas Rangers when they won the first 3 games of that 4-game series in Texas before Texas won yesterday afternoon. And Boney taking down low and outside. 2-2 tie. 8 hits for the Mariners now. By the way, that double by Raul, the first extra base hit for the Mariners. Three-0.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Booney have the green light.
And that's a line drive base hit into right field. So Edgar's going to score. Ibanez will go to third. The Mariners take the lead 3-2. Boone just pokes one into right field and picks up his 82nd RBI.
Yeah, indeed. He did have the green light to hit 3-0. Didn't try to pull the ball. Drees made a good pitch to him on a 3-0 count. But Booney did not try to pull it and ended up shooting the ball into right field. That's pretty good hitting.
5 consecutive hits for the Mariners.
Look where that pitch is. That's down low and outside. That's a nasty pitch right there. There's a pitcher's pitch. But Booney, as we said, not trying to pull the ball. Shot it the other way.
Jeremy Reed, the hitter. And Jeremy slices it into the gap in left center field to pick up another RBI. The Mariners have 4 here in the 3rd inning and lead it 4-2. 6 consecutive hits. And Greg Dobbs will be the hitter. Still nobody out.
Take a look at it one more time. Out over the plate. Reed doesn't pull the ball a great deal anyway. And he hits the ball up the middle the other way. So when you pitch him out of the plate, I think you're doing Reed a favor. And he said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that base hit." There's Edgar in the dugout. I guarantee you they're kidding him about not scoring from first base. And Raul says, "Man, I was going to lap you. I had to put the brakes on, slide, and go back into second. I thought you were going to score in that."
That's going to be it. Here comes Buck Showalter out. And so Ryan Dries here can only go 2 plus 6 hitters here in the 3rd inning. 2 innings plus 6 hitters. And John Wasden is being called in from the bullpen. He's going to take over on a night that is just reeking with history and excitement here before a sellout crowd on Fan Appreciation Night. The Mariners and the Texas Rangers will be right back. And welcome back to Safeco Field, a place that tonight is just unbelievable. Greg Dobbs sends a line drive to center field. That's 7 straight hits. And around third, here comes Brett Boone. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Mariners lead it 5-2. 7 consecutive hits.
Dave, the only one that was a little bit on the cheap side was the ball that Randy Wynn when he fisted the ball over at first base. After that, they've all been line drives. And right now, Showalter's trying to figure out a way. How do you stop the bleeding?
Dan Wilson with an infield hit after an acrobatic stop by Michael Young last inning. He threw to first high, couldn't get him. Dan taking outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. John Wasden in relief. There's Wasden's numbers. Way outside. And Dan puts it back and out of play. Look at that. In inning 3. 7 of them in a row.
I can't figure that one out, but all I can tell you is that there's a lot of different ways to keep score. I don't recognize that one.
Oh, I recognize it in a certain sense. And Wilson with the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Those 2 guys, it's their weekend, isn't it? Up and in. 3-2. And a towering high fly ball that's going to be back into the stands. Fastball tapped back to the mound. There is a throw to second for one. That's all they'll get. Bad throw by Wasden. Made Michael Young go down and get it, so they do get the force out at second. Baseball history in the first inning. Here comes number 257. That high chopper into left field. And then here in the third inning, one for the baseball ages. The new record holder is Ichiro with that shot right back up the middle. And that was to be the first of 7 consecutive hits for the Mariners here in the third. Seven consecutive hits ties the club record. And Ichiro getting ready to come up for the second time in the inning. Jose Lopez. 2 strikes on him.
Dave, I got to think that they're going to go ahead and keep every one of the base hits that Ichiro has for the Hall of Fame between now and the end of the season.
Well, every ball is marked, has been ever since number 250. The special balls. Still alive. Held it.
Whatever the number turns out to be, I think the Hall of Fame would like to have that ball. So would Ichiro.
On the outside corner, strike 3 call. So here comes Ichiro for the second time in the inning. And here come the special balls. Greeting for the new hit king. The one season hit king of all time stands up there. 258.
It took 84 years to break George Sisler's record. The record that a lot of people think or thought that it could not be broken. But records are made to be broken. And boy, did this guy do it.
Well, 4 times this year he's had 5 hit games. Two and 0. Outside.
I think the fans want Ichiro to end up with about 270 hits. They want him to get a hit every time up.
And that's drilled to center field and deep. Back on the ball, making the leap, falling down out there. Lance Nix, tremendous catch to deny Ichiro on that 3-0 pitch. Hit number 259. What a catch by Lance Nix to deny Ichiro still another hit tonight. What a grab. It is 6-2 Mariners. And a ground ball back up the middle, and there it is. He's a new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258. My, oh my! That was his first trip to the plate in the bottom half of the third inning. His second trip to the plate, he almost had 259 as he drilled his shot to center field, and Lance Nix made a circus catch of it. Michael Young is the hitter, and the count is a ball and a strike on him. Look at this catch by Lance Nix. 3-0 pitch. Man, he drills it. And Nix makes the leap and almost misplayed the ball. What a play it was, though, in the end.
Lately, it's been that kind of a play just to get him out. A little bit of a break here or there, and he can have a few more hits.
And Jeremy Reed for the easy catch. And Mr. Teixeira will be the hitter. He had the 2-run home run in the first inning. Change up that time from Vallone, making his final appearance of the year. Randy Wynn. 2 down. Okay, time for our trivia question. Where are you, Clyde? Can't hear you walking tonight. Aflac trivia question. Can you name the 4 major batting stats in which Edgar Martinez is not the Mariners' all-time leader? Kevin Mench taking high ball on the strikes, and I'm told that they are not counting steals, caught stealing, strikeouts, intentional walks, sacrifice bunts, hit by a pitcher, or grounded into double play.
Well, one I would say would be triples.
Well, home runs too.
Home runs.
He's tied
with Bone.
Yep. For number 2.
Yeah, Jay Buhner.
Junior had 398. Bad throw that time by Lopez, and Mench is aboard on the error. For the Mariners, their 101st error of the year. And Brian Jordan will be the hitter. Talked to Junior today in Cincinnati, and he was called in on a radio show I was on, and chatted with him. He wanted to, of course, to be kind of part of the Edgar Martinez retirement weekend here, and say what a tremendous teammate he was. He called him #1 as far as best hitters he's ever seen. That's coming from a guy who's not a bad hitter himself. After his surgery, and a rather lengthy surgery of repairing his hamstring, he says he's going to be ready to play by spring training. Tonight's not the tough night for that guy. Tomorrow night's going to be real tough. Actually, probably Sunday.
I think the final game.
Yeah. But tomorrow will be emotional because, and by the way, we're going to carry those ceremonies here after the game tomorrow. for Edgar Martinez. Pulled down the third baseline, foul.
You know, Edgar is not a guy of a lot of words, and I think it's going to be interesting to listen to Edgar as to how he says goodbye. But he's not a man of a lot of words. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to have him just say, "Thank you. You fans have been great."
Well, I'll tell you something. After the toast on the plane yesterday in Oakland, Edgar got up and I thought was very eloquent in a short speech, and thanking everybody, all of his teammates, for all the backing that they had given him. He said he loved them all and looked forward to being somehow a part of baseball the rest of his life, and how appreciative he was of the backing that he had received for 18 years. So Brian Jordan walks after the throwing error by Lopez. And that's, you know, errors, that's one thing that's going to have to be tightened up next year.
Yeah, the defense is going to have to be shored up quite a bit. And as we have pointed out all year long, it's not so much the throwing those physical errors as it is the plays that you should make that they haven't made. Errors are part of the game. He's a young man. He's 20 years of age. Certainly he's going to get a lot better. But nevertheless, you're right, Dave. The defense has to be tightened up next year because the Mariners have always relied upon pitching and defense, and the defense has not done that much this year. It's hurt the club quite a bit.
Chad Allen sends a one-hopper, and this time the kid comes up with it. They get the force on Jordan at second base. So here in the fourth, no runs, no hits, and there and a couple left. It's 6-2 Mariners. 6-2 as you're looking at Edgar Martinez. Let's go back to 1995, Game 4, October the 7th, 1995. One of two home runs. This one, a 3-run home run at the Kingdome, just inside the foul line in left field. And then the big one off John Wetland in the ball game. The grand salami to dead center field. As you watch that ball sail over the center field fence. The Mariners haven't stopped hitting because Randy Wynn on the first pitch here in the fourth inning has led it off with a clean base hit into right field. And Randy Wynn is 3 for 3. And the Mariners have a dozen hits. Edgar Martinez, the RBI single. The third of the 7 consecutive hits last inning. There's some Mariners fans, if there ever were any. Up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Edgar is going to have a street named for him. Edgar Martinez Drive, which is now Atlantic, right here at Safeco Field. That will be officially dedicated tomorrow by the mayor. And he chases that ball, so he's down on the strikes. So 1 away. How about our contest here? Our text messaging contest. They're still holding up there at 50%. 259 to 261. 258 is already in the bank. For complete rules, you can log on to foxsports.com on MSN and key in the word Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. You can vote A, B, or C. Send your text messaging to number 86212. Ibanez with the count 2-0. The 2004 team photo. Giving away that photo tonight on Fan Appreciation Night, along with the Mariners' home schedule for next year. Chance to turn two. There's one, and not two. Two away. Brett Boone will be the hitter.
Boone helped things along in that third inning when the Mariners put that string of 7 consecutive hits in a 3-0 pitch. Still thinking about that pitch. Was down low and outside, and Boone singled into right field. Was given the green light to hit 3-0. And he had to know that they were going to pitch him down low and away. Otherwise, there's no way that he would have been able to handle that pitch.
To the left of Young. Fielded nicely. And they get the force on Raul Ibanez. So the Mariners get a hit. No runs. We go to the 5th. They're up 6-2. Lance Nix leads it off here in the 5th inning with the Mariners up by a score of 2-0. Struck out looking in the 2nd. And Vallone drops in a strike.
You know, it's been a while since this guy has gone deep. Not that he's a home run hitter, but he is certainly strong and he can get the ball a long ways. But it's been 41 games since he's hit a home run.
And Lopez will make the catch. So 1 down. Scores of other games. Cubs lost today. Atlanta beat them by a score of 5-4 at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Houston did win. They knocked off Colorado 4-2 down in Houston. And the Giants are leading 2-1 over the Dodgers in the 6th. Houston with a half a game lead over San Francisco, 2 over the Cubs with only 2 to go.
Kind of looks like the curse of the Billy Goat is still alive.
Well, there's a lot of bickering back in Chicago. A lot of second guessing, finger pointing. Two balls, 2 strikes on Huckabee. Angels leading Oakland 4-0 behind Bartolo Colon in the 6th inning. Three and 2 on Huckabee. So ball 4, the third walk given up by the left-hander. Good night, Clyde. We'll see you tomorrow. The Aflac trivia question. Can you name the 4 major batting stats in which Edgar Martinez is not the Mariners' all-time leader? Okay, here they are. Home runs, average, slugging percentage, and triples. There's a shot right to third. So Dobbs takes care of that laser beam, and Blaylock takes care of it. However, look what Edgar does have the franchise record in: games, ribbies, at bats, walks, runs scored, on base percentage, hits, sacrifice flies, doubles, and total bases.
When you look at his career numbers, there's a lot of bold numbers where you lead the club or lead the league in various categories.
Also, a couple of batting championships. Ichiro is going to catch him in that department this year. He's going to be the American League batting champion for the second time in 4 years. Didn't want to do it. Check swing. Barehanded. Throw by Dobbs down the right field line. And Huckabee to third base. He will hold. Saw a base hit, an infield hit, and an error. You could see that coming a long way away, couldn't you? Second error of the game for the Mariners. And Michael Young will be the hitter.
I think the more experience that Dobbs gets down there at third base when you're leading 6-2, you'll have a better feel as to whether you can throw the runner out or not. And you might be better off just to go down, catch the ball, and then toss it right back to the pitcher and not throw the ball away.
Going to get out of it. Should get out of it. Let's put it that way. And the throw in time. So here in the 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, it's still 6-2 Mariners.
And welcome back to Safeco Field as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mariners lead the Rangers by a score of 6-2. How about the game recap brought to you by Rico? It's about Ichiro tonight. Ichiro looking to tie the major league record with his first at bat in the bottom of the 1st inning. Chops one over the head of third baseman Hank Blaylock down the left field line, and he ties George Sisler. Base hit number 257.
Well, Rick, Ichiro, you see the crowd, the fireworks, and you finally see a little bit of emotion out of Ichiro in his face, but he doesn't waste any time adding on to it. There he goes, base hit right up the middle, and that's the record breaker right there. And we watch Ichiro, the crowd goes wild, and everybody turns into a fan, even in that dugout. I had to turn into a fan on the broadcast. Forget my broadcasting, I was a fan there. Everybody shakes hands. Ichiro's done it.
Here is Jeremy Reed to lead off the bottom half of inning number 5 with a foul ball out of play. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with David Henderson, and I'm telling you, this place is electric tonight. The Mariners are way out of first place. It's the end of the year, but Hendu, a playoff atmosphere because of Ichiro and Edgar.
I think you got to appreciate the fans coming out to see something very special in the baseball. And now we look at the play, Rick.
Reed with a ground ball. Nice stop in behind the bag by Mark Teixeira to the pitcher Wasden covering. So nice play turned in by Teixeira. Reed grounds out. 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the 5th. And here's third baseman Greg Dobbs.
But I think when people talk about special events in the world in baseball, they're going to say, where were you when Ichiro broke the record, George Sisler's record? I was at the ballpark. And you want to be at the ballpark, especially if you're in Seattle. Everybody else can watch it on television, but you want to be in this ballpark. It is packed.
I'll tell you, it can be easy to remember the date. Pop up by Dobbs into shallow center field. Young out, nicks in, and Eric Young makes the catch. So 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 5th inning. You can remember the date because this was the day that Mount Helens erupted again at 12:02 this afternoon. Just a real big burp. So 2 down. Mariners lead 6-2, and that'll bring up catcher Dan Wilson. The Mariners tied a club record with 7 consecutive base hits when they scored their 6 runs at the bottom of the 3rd, and all 6 were charged to right-hander Ryan Drees. Didn't have that sinker working again, 2nd time in a row against Seattle. And is 1 for 2 with a run batted in, and there's a look at the guy who made some history tonight, big history. Ichiro with his 2 hits.
He's starting to loosen up, and you always see Ichiro stretching, moving around, because he gets those base hits by his speed, so he has to be ready to go.
Well hit ball deep to left field. Backing up is Chad Allen near the warning track, and he makes the catch for out number 3. And after 5, Mariners lead Texas 6-2. Top half of the 6th inning, the Mariners lead Texas 6-2. We've got a new pitcher for the Mariners. Right-hander Julio Mateo will take over in relief. So a nice job tonight by Ron Vallone.
Mr. Do-It-All, Ron Vallone. He started his relief. Now Julio Mateo comes into the ball game. 44 ball games. You see the 1-2 record. 55 2/3 innings. 43 Ks. 16 base on balls, giving up 11 home runs, but just getting back off the disabled list at the end of the month here and starting to get some innings in so he can go into winter ball and see how that arm, he wasn't seriously hurt, but they just wanted to be very careful with his arm.
This direct connect call to the bullpen brought to you by Nextel. Mark Teixeira leads it off with ball 1. So another nice performance by the veteran left-hander Ron Vallone, who's been pitching so well in so many different roles for this ball club.
Named pitcher of the year by the writers before the ball game.
Congratulations to RV. Ground ball foul up the first base line, and the count even on Teixeira at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark Teixeira, when he hit that home run in the top of the 1st inning, his 38th of the year, became the youngest switch hitter since Mickey Mantle to hit 38 home runs in a season at the age of 24. Ball 2, 2-1. Mickey Mantle from Oklahoma, Commerce, Oklahoma, the Commerce Comet.
Well, typically you'd have middle infielders and leadoff guys as switch hitters, so that record's like intact. But the big fella at first base shows you that he's got some power.
Fly ball deep left center field. Jeremy Reed on the run. The ball tailing away, and Reed is able to get there to make the catch. And that ball kept getting farther and farther away, but Reed kicked in the Jets. 1 out. Well, tomorrow night's game 2 of the 3-game series will be televised right here on FSN beginning at 5 o'clock. It'll be Jamie Moyer against Kenny Rogers. The pitching matchups brought to you by Comcast. And remember, tomorrow is Edgar Appreciation Day here at Safeco Field, and the ceremony that will follow will also be carried live. Kevin Mensch with a strike, 0-1, and there he is, Edgar Martinez, winding down his fabulous career here in Seattle.
I think this novel is turning out just right. Thanks, Edgar, the sign there. But Ichiro does his thing then tonight, breaks a record, hands the baton to Edgar the next night. It's your day tomorrow.
Fly ball center field. Jeremy Reed has been busy, and he makes the catch. 2 outs for the Rangers here in the 6th. So there he is, Poppy. Edgar Martinez, 18 years as a Seattle Mariner. 1995, that magical season, he was right in the thick of it with a grand slam home run in game 4 that allowed the Mariners a chance to play game 5, and it was Edgar who won game 5 in extra innings with that double down the left field line off of Blackjack McDowell. And that scored Joey Cora and Ken Griffey Jr. And I swear I've never seen Junior run faster, and I don't think his feet ever touched the ground rounding third, Hindu.
No, not at all. And we look at Edgar and just remind people that Edgar is still that humble little guy that started at third base for the Mariners back in '87. And he hasn't changed much at all. So don't expect long speeches and braggadocious things out of Edgar. He's the same old guy. He's just trying to find a way to say thank you. And I told him, just say it from the heart. People will understand the word thank you.
There he is, Poppy. Edgar Martinez, very consistent, always right there for years at third and now as the DH. And I believe he's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a designated hitter. Down and away for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike, and we'll find out 5, 6 years from now. Brian Jordan, the hitter, struck out in the second, walked his last time up in the fourth. Mariners 6 and the Rangers 2. 2-2. Well, down in Oakland, the Angels and the A's battle for the top spot in the West, and right now the Angels lead 8-0 in the 6th inning. Mark Mulder started that game, and he's been really hit hard his last 5, 6 starts.
And there was rumors about his health, and he denied all rumors and said, I'm healthy. It's about 6 or 7 starts now where he's been giving up a lot of runs.
Jordan lifts a fly ball to Ichiro and right, who makes the catch for out number 3, and we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. Mariners lead the Rangers 6-2, and here comes Ichiro to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Well, we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Mariners leading Texas 6-2. Jose Lopez leads it off. Took a look at ball 1 and now takes a look at strike 1. 1-1 the count on Jose. John Wasden in relief delivers down and away for ball 2, 2-1. And look at the shot of the moon high above Safeco Field. Man on the moon with a great view of Ichiro breaking George Sisler's single season hit record tonight. Fouled away back of the plate. 2-2 on Lopez. How about the flash bulbs going off all around the ballpark with Ichiro's first 2 at bats? The single in the first that tied the record, the single leading off the bottom of the 3rd that broke the record. Line drive caught by first baseman Mark Teixeira. 1 out for the Mariners here in the 6th, and that'll bring up Ichiro. A standing ovation every time Ichiro comes to the plate, and why not? Tonight is his night. He has broken the record set by George Sisler, set 84 years ago for hits in a season. Mr. Sisler racked up 257, and Ichiro now has 258.
Well, Rick, it was just a matter of time before he broke the record, but Ichiro, he made sure the people got in their seats very quickly. The first time up, he tied it. Second time up, he broke it.
Didn't waste any time. The pitch to Ichiro swung on and fouled away on the third base side, 0-1, and then he was robbed of another base hit. His second time up in the bottom of the 3rd, when he drilled the ball deep to straightaway center field. Lance Nix made a fine catch at the last second. Got up in the air to make the grab. So with George Sisler's family members looking on, Ichiro establishing the record. There go the flash bulbs. The pitch is outside for ball 1, 1-1.
And I like the fact that there's Francis right there looking on.
George Sisler's daughter, Francis Drockelman, here at the ballpark tonight, along with her sons, Bo and Peter. George Sisler's other grandson, Rick Sisler, is here at the ballpark tonight, along with a great-grandson, Brian Drockelman, who's Bo's son. So 5 members of the Sisler family here at the ballpark tonight. Line drive back up the middle. In behind second on a hop. Michael Young to throw to first, not in time. And Ichiro adds to the record. 259 base hits for Ichiro.
Well, I like the fact, Rick, that he's getting clean base hits. No scorer's decision where you have to wait, where it's a ball off a fielder's glove. The first 2 hits, nobody got a glove on him. This one he beats out cleanly. No mistakes by Michael Young. It's a straight base hit. He just runs this ball, hits it over the middle. You see Michael Young, he does everything he can, but there's no way that he's going to outrun Ichiro to first base. This ball, nope. Ichiro wins another race with a baseball.
Look how quickly he gets those feet in motion. Randy Wynn has 3 base hits tonight, and he takes a look at ball 1. Randy has singled in the first, the third, and again in the fourth, so he's 3 for 3. The Mariners have 13 base hits. The fleet feet of Ichiro on at first base for the 3rd time tonight. Outside on Randy, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes to count. And now the question, when a major league record is established, you sometimes ask yourself, well, who's the next guy to come along to break it? I think the answer is that guy right there.
Well, it's one of those things. He has all the talents and the speed to break the record, and just happens if this guy gets off to a strong April.
Yeah. I mean, in April, going into May 1st, he was hitting 255.
And if he just,
321.
Right, he has hits his normal, 320, 330.
Yeah.
You know, this record would have been broke a month ago. It's one of those things where Ichiro is going to be the guy that breaks the record.
Okay, now here's the poll by the fans. What do you think Ichiro's going to wind up with between 256, 258, 259, 261, or more than 262? And right now winning either 259 to 261 to wind up the season. Now here's how to play on your cell phone. Select text messaging with your response. Type ABC and send a number 86212. For complete rules, log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. And you can tune in to tomorrow's pregame show to see if you're a winner of an Edgar Martinez autographed baseball. There's ball 4 to Randy Wynn. So he's on at first. It'll send Ichiro to second, 1 out. Mariners lead 6-2, and here's the other man of the hour, designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Edgar 1 for 3 with an RBI single, and he scored a run, 1 of 6 runs in the 3rd. Painted on the turf right behind home plate, Edgar's name and the years he played in the major leagues, all with the Mariners, 1987 to 2004. In the dirt, knocked down by Huckabee, the catcher, ball 1. And back in 1987, Edgar's first major league hit was a triple.
Of course, Edgar was a third baseman back in those days, and a very good third baseman. He didn't have a lot of power. That's why people say, why didn't he come up earlier? We had a guy at third base hitting 27 home runs. Edgar was a line drive hitter, which he still is, but he added power to his game.
And a strike on the inside corner, and it's 1-1 on Edgar. And the guy you're talking about is Jim Presley back then, who came up as a young player. In the meantime, Edgar had to bide his time down at AAA Calgary, where he was hitting about 370.
And every year, of course, I was on the team, and he'd come to spring training and spray line drives all around the field. Hit about 400 in spring training, but there was no room for him.
Out of play in the first base side in the count. 1-2 on Edgar. But he finally got an opportunity and made the most of it. The greatest designated hitter all time in the history of the game of baseball. This year moving by Harold Baines at home runs for DH. RBIs as a designated hitter. One of the greatest guys you'll ever meet in the game of baseball, or out. His career winds down on Sunday afternoon. Breaking ball misses. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Hendry, there's not going to be too many dry eyes in this ballpark tomorrow night.
We're one of the lucky ones, though. We get to see him after he retires on a lot of occasions. So he's he's a human being first for us, and he's the ball player to the fans. But just remind everybody that Edgar is a great person.
First and foremost, check swing. Did he go? He didn't. Ball 3, full count 3-2. The appeal down to Mike DeMuro, the umpire at first base. Edgar with 514 career doubles. The biggest came in Game 5 of the American League Division Series in 1995 against the Yankees, and you better believe it, we're going to miss Poppy. Runners going, pitched out for a ball throw to third, and it gets on by Blaylock. Here comes Ichiro on to score, and the Mariners have a 7-2 lead. Edgar went after the pitch for strike 3 on a check swing. He thought he checked his swing. Huckabee's throw got underneath the glove of Blaylock for an error. So Ichiro scores, and the Mariners have a 7-2 lead over the Rangers.
And a breaking ball down that Edgar goes after, but the breaking ball down throws Huckabee off a little bit. He throws it in the dirt, and of course third baseman Blaylock does not make the pick. We look at the swing right there. That's a check swing, but it's a swing.
So 2 outs, stolen base and a throwing error by Huckabee, and a run in, and Michael Tejera will take over in relief, a left-hander. 7-2 Mariners lead. We'll be back after this timeout. Mariners lead Texas 7-2 here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Michael Tejera, little left-hander, takes over in relief to face Raul Ibanez. Ground ball to Hopper, to Teixeira, over to Tejera at first base for the out, and that'll end the inning. But the Mariners add on one more. We go to the top of the 7th. Mariners 7, the Rangers 2. Well, the story tonight and the series, Edgar Martinez and Ichiro, simply the best. As we go to the top half of the 7th inning, Ichiro establishing the major league record for hits in a season. Edgar winding down his major league career. Chad Allen leading off the top half of the 7th inning with a fly ball to right. Ichiro's there, and he's got it. 1 pitch, 1 away. Brings up center fielder Lance Nix. Well, let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Why buy a mattress anywhere else? Last weekend of the season, the Mariners take it on the Texas Rangers. Tomorrow night, 5:35, and then Sunday afternoon at 1:05. The TV schedule change. FSN will televise tomorrow's game beginning at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, and we'll have complete Edgar ceremony coverage right after the ball game. Center fielder Lance Nix, ball 1.
And being in a situation where Texas is, they got eliminated a couple days ago.
Yeah.
This game is going to quicken up a little bit. They're going to start swinging at the pitch, ready to get out of here.
Swing and a miss by Nix, and the count is even at 1-1. The big game going on tonight, Anaheim and Oakland, and that game is in the 7th inning with the Angels leading big over the A's 8-0. Hindu.
Well, the big three, they talk about Mulder, Zito, and Hudson not living up to the reputation. Mulder getting beat up tonight.
Nix with a fly ball to center field. Backing up Reed. Jeremy is there and makes the catch. 2 outs. So that is 5 in a row retired by Julio Mateo in relief. Well, FSN is saluting Edgar Martinez with a special DVD documenting the best marks and milestones of his career. Available October the 11th at the team stores or by calling 206-346-4010. You got to love this guy. A tribute to Edgar Martinez. If you're an Edgar fan, this DVD is for you. And here it is right here. You got to love this guy, Edgar Martinez. Poppy number 11. Ken Huckabee pops one up to right center field, and Ichiro is there, waits and makes the catch for out number 3, and we go to the bottom of inning number 7. Here it is. You got to love this guy, Edgar Martinez. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mariners lead the Rangers 7-2. Bottom of the 7th inning. Mariners 7, the Rangers 2. 0-1 the count on Brett Boone. And he takes outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mariners scoring 6 of their 7 runs back in the 3rd. Boone 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Mariners had 7 consecutive base hits in the bottom of the 3rd to tie a club record. The first hit was Ichiro's record-breaking hit. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike from left-hander Mark Tejera coming into the ball game to get the final out for John Wasden in the bottom half of the 6th. So 3-1 the count on Brett Boone. Out of play on the first base side. Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. After the season, Boone will have the LASIK surgery on October the 18th to help correct the vision problems. Fouled away, and the count is still 3-2.
Well, Brett Boone, of course, very unhappy with the production he had this year, and want to correct that. He's going to go into the off season with a #1 goal to get his body ready for a full year and get into that pennant race. Looking across the diamond to Oakland, not a good feeling.
Lines one into the gap in left center field. Boone the turn at first, but up with the ball is Lance Nix to keep Boney to a leadoff single. So his second base hit tonight. Brings up center fielder Jeremy Reed. Here are some more results on tonight's poll. Where do you think Ichiro will finish up with his hit total this year? Between 256 or 258, 259, 261, or more than 262, and just about even right there.
Rick, it looks like they got my vote. 45% on a 262 and above.
There you go. Well, he's at 259 right now. And if you want to take part, call on your cell phone, select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. Down and away on Reed. For complete rules, log on to foxsports.com and MSN keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. Tune in to tomorrow's pregame show to see if you're a winner of an Edgar Martinez autographed baseball.
And if you want to go with the announcers, pick C.
262 and above. Right now he's at 259. Reed going way out of the strike zone. Strikes out, 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'll tell you, this kid though has been impressive. Jeremy Reed, an RBI single tonight, came into the game batting .423. I tell you what, he's really opened up some eyes here in the last month of the year.
Now that's one of those at bats you never really get into. You get strike one with a breaking ball, you want to look at it, and then the umpire calls one off the plate, strike two, and then you're 0-2 in a hole to a left-hander Laredo guy you've never seen before.
So 1 on 1 away for third baseman Greg Dobbs, a strike 0-1.
You kind of like to take a pitch and see where the release point is coming from. Both Reed and Dobbs have done the same thing. They've learned well in the minor leagues. Take one, pick up the release point so you can see the vision of where the ball's going.
And a swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and the count is 0-2. Dobbs started off the year at Double-A San Antonio, where he batted .325. He missed all of last year, played in only 2 games, and had the ruptured Achilles tendon. Then was called up to Triple-A Tacoma, where he hit .271 with 8 home runs. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Michael Tejera last year with the world champion Florida Marlins. They were eliminated a few weeks ago, so they won't have a chance to defend their title. Ground ball along the third base line. Slow roller barehanding Blaylock. His throw to first is wide, and it pulls Teixeira off the bag. An infield base hit for Greg Dobbs. Down to second goes Brett Boone, and the Mariners have 2 aboard with 1 out. Well, there's still time to pick up the 2004 Mariners Wives Cookbook. Mariners Menus is available now in Mariners team stores and is filled with delectable recipes and features with your favorite players, coaches, staff, and their families. Cookbooks are only $10, and proceeds benefit the Gregory Fund and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. Hendu swears by it. He's one of the best cooks in the Northwest. Isn't that right? Here is catcher Dan Wilson, and Dan takes ball 1.
You heard that answer, right? I could cook at any restaurant in the city.
There you go. The only thing you can make are reservations. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Dan Wilson with a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 3 with a run banded in. His fielder's choice in the third scored a run. Ground ball pulled foul along the third base line. 2-1. Only 2 games left here in the 2004 season. Tomorrow, game time 5:35. We'll take the air on FSN at 5 o'clock. A whole bunch to talk about, Hindu, with Ichiro breaking the record, and the focus really on Edgar Martinez for his night tomorrow night. There's Ichiro with his 3 hits tonight. Now has the major league record of 259 hits.
And it's nice that Ichiro got it all done tonight, so it doesn't spill in tomorrow for Edgar's day.
2-2 on Dan Wilson. Shigetoshi Hasegawa down in the bullpen. Ground ball. Second baseman Eric Young is there. And that is out number 2. It advances the runners. Boone goes to third and Dobbs down to second base. 2-on-2 away for shortstop Jose Lopez. Ichiro's due up next. And how do you put in perspective what this guy has done? 259 base hits.
Well, I don't think you do, because we always say in baseball that line drives and bloopers, they average out. But with Ichiro's, they don't. He gets line drives for base hit. He gets bloopers for base hit. He gets balls off people's gloves for base hits.
And it hits those ground balls that a lot of guys are out at first base, but with his speed, he beats them out for infield singles.
So they don't average out for Ichiro.
Constantly stretching before the at bat, heck, during the at bat. Fouled away by Lopez, and the count is 0-2 on Jose.
Always has his body in motion, never gives it a chance to stiffen up. Keeps the blood flowing in his legs, arms, has his routine.
You gotta wonder what's going on back home in Japan right now. Inside, way inside in the dirt. Huckabee can't find it. Now he does. And the count is 1-2 on Lopez. Ichiro has been such a big story really since he came over from Japan back in 2001. But the other day on the newscast, back in Japan, the first 7 minutes of the newscast was all about Ichiro getting closer and closer to the record. And how about what it's going to be tonight and tomorrow?
Wow.
And the next day.
It's a big story.
It's huge back there. And very big here. Swing and a miss by Lopez for strike 3. He's frustrated with it. And that ends the inning, and we go to the top half of the 8th. Mariners lead Texas 7-2. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of tonight's game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Seattle Mariners. What a night for Ichiro and his fans. 3 hits tonight, has the major league record for hits in a season, now with 259. Top half of the 8th inning, Mariners leading the Rangers 7-2, and leading things off, second baseman Eric Young with a strike from new pitcher Shigetoshi Hasegawa.
Look at the numbers for Hasegawa. 4-6, a 5.24 ERA, rather high, but he's been pitching a lot better of late, and he was one of the key ingredients in that bullpen early in the year. Starting off had a bad year, but you know what? We talk about evening out. When you have a sub-2 ERA 1 year, watch out for the next.
It's been a tough year for Shiggy. Ball 2 balls and a strike.
Things usually even out in baseball when you go way beyond what you normally do on a baseball card. The old baseball gods kind of even it out.
This game can humble you very quickly. Up and in on Young for ball 3, 3-1. But Hendu, of all the guys that I talked to, and especially Jamie Moyer, who I talked to before the ball game tonight, I mean, these guys going to work very, very hard during the offseason. They can't wait to get to spring training, get this thing turned around. Popped up behind home plate, straight up. Dan Wilson fires his mask at the plate umpire Joe West, and Wilson makes the catch. Joe West knocking down the mask Dan Wilson fired it right at West.
Nice forearm. Look at the smile on Joe West and Dan Wilson. They teach you you don't want to fall on that thing. Watch Joe. He'll throw the arm out and try to catch that thing. Doesn't hit him in the face. He knocks it out of the way because he knows Dan gets rid of that mass, and he doesn't want to fall on it and lay it right under his feet.
Dan Wilson was taught long ago as a young catcher, get rid of the mask, get it away so there's no chance of tripping over it. And sometimes, well, umpires get in the way.
Well, it'd be the most embarrassing thing. You're going for a fly ball, the wind blows it a little bit, you trip over your mask.
Get it out of there. There's a line drive base hit up the middle by Blaylock. Hank Blaylock, his second base hit tonight. 1 on and 1 away. Brings up shortstop Michael Young.
Well, another thing about the Mariners clubhouse, and usually when you have a bad year and you're out of it in June, you have a lot of bickering, you have a lot of name calling, you have a lot of finger pointing. The Mariners didn't do that. That shows the professionalism of the coaching staff. Bob Melvin running a good clubhouse. These guys were all professional to the end. They knew they didn't play well, but they didn't start blaming each other.
No.
And you see other clubs in last place, they have lots of problems in that clubhouse.
Down and away on Michael Young for ball 1, and one of the guys, and they were all stand-up guys, but one of the guys who really stood up and really spoke the truth, was very honest, was Brett Boone. He said basically, hey, I stunk. A lot of guys in this clubhouse, they didn't play well, they didn't get the job done. He was very, very honest. He's not making excuses.
Yeah, you have to stand up like a man and be professional about it, because this guy comes from a long line of baseball players, professional baseball players. Right. He knows how to play the game right. He knows what it's supposed to be in the clubhouse, and you don't finger point, you don't blame other people, you say what you did.
Fouled back by Young, and the count is 1-2 on the Rangers talented shortstop Michael Young.
And you got to have a leader, and Bob Melvin was that leader to keep his clubhouse in order, keep everything inside, not in the papers, not rumors and things like that. And you got to give him a lot of credit, because last place, it wears on people.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of things go wrong on the field, and you have to be a professional about it.
The one thing I really enjoyed about watching this club on the last road trip, where they went 6-4, and you were there in Oakland, Hendu. 2-2. Well, make it strike 3 called on the outside corner. He got the call from Joe West. Tickle the outside corner. So 2 outs for Texas here in the top half of the 8th inning. Well, the Mariners would like to take a moment to thank G.I. Joes for their support in 2004 and for helping make events like Jay Buhner Hall of Fame induction night and the double steal possible. So thanks again to G.I. Joes for being a part of Mariners baseball this year. But you were there in Oakland, Hendu, when we went inside the clubhouse. It was a very loose clubhouse. Mark Teixeira with a base hit into right field and down the side, right field side. Blaylock around to third. Up with the ball is Ichiro. Teixeira, his second base hit, and the Rangers have runners at first and third with 2 outs.
Well, let's get one thing straight, Rick. It's very easy to be very loose when you're winning. When you're winning too, and it's tougher when you're losing, because when you lose, you make bad plays, you don't perform. So that's the point I'm trying to make. It's easy to be loose in the clubhouse. Great, we have great chemistry when you're winning, but you really judge a team how their chemistry is when they're losing.
Here is Kevin Mensch.
We saw the camaraderie in Oakland, where they were having fun in the clubhouse, making jokes, and everything was going on like it's supposed to be, because this is
winning.
By the way, this is baseball. It is a game. You're supposed to have fun.
And these guys at the end of the year have had some fun. Kevin Mensch takes Sloan outside. Ball 1. But for the organization, a lot of work ahead in the offseason to try to get things turned around. On at third, Blaylock. Teixeira at first base, 2 down. One hopper back to the mound, taken by Shiggy, and that's out number 3. Well, wait a second, it gets on by Raul Ibanez, and a run will score. Off the glove of Ibanez, and the inning is still alive for Texas. Blaylock will end up scoring around to third. Teixeira.
And it was just a little lackadaisical play by Hasegawa, like you said, it's out number 3, but you cannot assume out number 3. We take a look at it. Out number 3, like we said, just lobs it over in the dirt, and it's one of those things where it's such an easy play. The first baseman's not ready for a bad throw, and you lob it over there. It's in the dirt. You give Ibanez a little credit. He's expecting a pitcher to be able to throw the ball 30 feet in the air.
It's on by Raul. The error on the throw by Shigetoshi Hasegawa. So Mensch winds up on at second, and a run scores. Teixeira's on at third base. Blaylock comes in, and here's Brian Jordan. Outside, ball 1. One thing the Mariners have to turn around. There's a number of things. They have to play much better defense. A couple of years ago, they set a major league record for the fewest errors in major league history.
65 errors versus this year's error. That's 102 now. 102nd error of the year, and that's just a mental error and lackadaisical, just taking things for granted.
And one thing that should show up is defense.
Every day. That's the one thing you control: hustle in baseball and defense.
Swing and a miss by Jordan. 2-1.
Yeah, you never know if you're going to get 258 hits, but you can always play defense.
You're going to go in slumps. I don't know. Don't care how good you are. Pitching matchups tomorrow: Moyer against Rogers, and of course Edgar Martinez Appreciation Day will be on FSN at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Then coverage, complete coverage, as we honor Edgar after the ball game tomorrow night. And that's going to be quite a show, folks. Some great surprises in store after the game tomorrow, as we honor number 11, Edgar Martinez. It's 7-3. Mariners lead the Rangers. 1 run in for Texas here in the 8th. Outside, ball 3. Full count, 3-2 on Brian Jordan.
I think people think that the retirement of Edgar means he's going somewhere. All he's doing is going to the second part of his life. He gets to go home and play with his kids, reintroduce himself to his wife and his family, and do some of the things that a baseball player's never done. When I retired, I kind of figured out that people have holidays in the summer. They're kind of cool. Well, you got to realize that a baseball player, Memorial Day, 4th of July, we have a game.
And strike 3 called. Shiggy strikes out Brian Jordan to end the inning. 1 run for Texas. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mariners lead the Rangers 7-3. The Mariners lead the Texas Rangers as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ichiro's fans here at Safeco Field. Ichiro has broken the major league record for most hits in a single season. He has 3 tonight. Broke the record with his second base hit, a leadoff single in the bottom of the 3rd. He now has 259. That came in the 6th inning. Forget MVP. Forget about Bush and Kerry. They want Ichiro as president.
We know he's a hit leader.
He's a hit with the fans here in the Northwest and in Japan. 1-0 the count on Ichiro, who is now the all-time hit record for a single season. He moves on by George Sisler, who had 257 back in 1920. Sisler hit .407 that year. He had 19 home runs, 45 stolen bases, I believe 42 stolen bases.
Now what I'd like to see here now is Ichiro get a base hit, get to first base, and run the pinch runner out there so he can walk off the field to a standing ovation.
And the next pitch is up high for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. And the chant of Ichiro, Ichiro continues here at Safeco Field. Ball 3, 3-1. How consistent has Ichiro been? Well, how about this? Since the All-Star break, Ichiro is hitting .429. Full count, 3-2.
I was pretty impressed with those 350 hit months too.
A major league record. He had 400 in May, July, and August. Fouled away. Still 3-2. He had 50 hits in May, 51 in July, and he had 56 in August. He is 3 for 4 tonight, and he was robbed of a base hit by center fielder Lance Nix in his second at bat in the bottom of the third inning. And strike 3 called. Gets called looking, and that is a rare thing to see. Ichiro taking a call, third strike. Fans don't like it. 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the 8th.
Well, Tejera has a kind of a funky windup. He goes Laredo. Ichiro, the ball is a little bit up, but it's on the plate. Joe West says last game of the year for let's get out of here. It's too close to take. Ichiro, of course, usually swings at that ball, fouls it off, and gets a better pitch to hit.
That is going to be it for the little left-hander, Michael Tejera. Pitching change for the Rangers. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Mariners lead 7-3. We'll be back after this timeout. Rick Riz along with David Henderson. A packed house here at Safeco Field. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1 out, nobody on. Mariners lead the Rangers 7-3, and the new pitcher is right-hander Travis Hughes.
And of course, don't have many numbers on him. He just came up from AAA. Made his major league debut Sunday. Pitched 2/3 of an inning. You see the high ERA, but only 2/3 of an inning, so we won't hold that against him. A couple strikeouts, a couple of walks, but pitched in Oklahoma. Had a 4-8 record, 4.18 ERA.
Made that debut against the Mariners. Swing and a miss by Randy Wynn, and the count is 0-2. He was a little bit nervous, had some butterflies, walked the first 2 batters in that game, and then Oral Hershiser went out there and settled him down. He struck out the next 2.
That sounds pretty typical for your major league debut. You know, the adrenaline starts to flow, and you're a little bit adrenalated.
That's your favorite word this year. And I like it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm going to put it in the dictionary.
One and 2 on Randy Wynn. And I'm swinging, 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the 8th. And here's designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Fans a chance to say goodbye to Edgar Martinez tonight. Fan appreciation night. Great crowd tonight. Painted on the turf. Edgar came up to the major leagues in 1987. Final year in the big leagues 2004. 45,573 tonight. Fly ball center field shallow, drops in, base hit for Edgar. His second base hit tonight. 1 on, 2 away for the Mariners here in the 8th.
As I said, for Ichiro, get that pinch runner out there. We'd like to get a pinch runner for Edgar and let him get his standing ovation when he walks off the field.
Fans a chance to say goodbye to Edgar Martinez, who stays out there at first base. 1 on, 2 away for Raul Ibanez. Inside ball 1. Ibanez with 2 hits tonight, headed to get his average over 300 for the year right now at 301. He came a long way in a short period of time. He was hitting 272 a few weeks ago. And here comes a pinch runner for Edgar Martinez. Holbert Cabrera out to pinch run for Edgar, and a standing ovation for Poppy. Edgar Martinez back inside the dugout after his base hit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And I'm telling you folks, there won't be a dry eye in the house tomorrow night. Fouled away by Ibanez. 1 ball and 1 strike. And we will carry the complete coverage of the Edgar Martinez ceremony after the game tomorrow night. Game time is 5:35. We'll start our coverage at 5 o'clock with a pregame show. And the ceremony after the ball game. Ball 2, 2-1.
Yeah, Edgar's trying to figure out what he's supposed to do, and the only thing he knows is baseball. He goes through his routine up to the day he retires, in the batting cage, off the tee, flip drill, batting practice, go play the game.
2 more. Ground ball, base hit into right field by Ibanez. Cabrera down to second. Off of the ball out there in right field, Kevin Mench. So 2 on, and for Ibanez, his third base hit tonight. Well, time now for Banner Bank, building to the future. How about Bucky Jacobson? This guy did a heck of a job before the surgery that cut his season short. He played in 42 ball games, hit .275 with 9 home runs, 28 runs batted in, and slugged 50%. Bucky Jacobson coming up from AAA Tacoma in the second half of the season. At Tacoma, he had 26 home runs and 86 runs batted in.
Now the thing about it, with Edgar's retirement, they're looking for a replacement, and of course Bucky Jacobson, he could be the one. You have to come to spring training and earn it. They don't give you jobs, and Bucky knows that.
Bucky had the surgery on his right knee to repair some cartilage a few weeks ago. Saw him in the clubhouse prior to the ball game tonight. Here's Brett Boone with a swing and a miss. But Bucky will be ready by spring training next year. Travis Hughes on in relief. 2 on, 2 outs. Mariners lead 7-3. Boone 2 hits. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. He's got 3. Cabrera running third, heading home with run number 8. RBI single with 2 outs for Brett Boone, and it's now the Mariners 8 and the Rangers 3. Boone's second run batted in tonight.
You can certainly see that Travis Hughes has a good fastball, but we talk about being young. You start pumping that fastball up there, you got to have location. Brett Boone, the old veteran, you throw him the same speed pitch in the same location twice in a row, and basically this is right down the middle. And if he's going to have LASIK surgery over the winter, he's still going to be able to hit that pitch right down the middle.
Jeremy Reed takes ball 1. So with 2 outs, singles by Edgar Martinez, Raul Ibanez, and Brett Boone, and the Mariners pick up another run. Ibanez at second base, Boone at first. 1-1. Reed 1 for 4, an RBI single. This kid can hit. Batting .414 for the year. Ball 2. I thought Raul Ibanez gave him a heck of a compliment when Ibanez went down to Tacoma on a rehab assignment. He just looked at the way he stepped into the batter's box and said, you know, this guy's going to be a hitter.
He looked hitterish.
Very hitterish. Inside, ball 3, 3-1.
You didn't know I was going to start a new dictionary on this broadcast, did you?
Well, that's 2 words you've come up with this year for the baseball lingo dictionary. Adrenalated and hitterish. And this guy, very hitterish. Now the key, there's a strike, full count 3-2. Had to, after you look hitterish, then you have to swing the bat and be a hitter.
Well, he's
and
proven
that's a little bit more important.
I think he's proven that he can hit the ball up the middle. I think the Mariners want to see him in certain counts be able to pull the ball and try to hit it in the gaps for power.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3. That'll end the inning, but the Mariners tack on 1 more, and we go to the top half of the 9th inning. 1 more try for the Rangers. Mariners lead Texas 8-3. All right, Cameron, thank you very much. We go to the top half of the 9th inning. The Mariners lead by a score of 8-3, and right-hander J.J. Putz will come on in relief to close this one out. Big story tonight. Ichiro with 3 hits to break the major league record, and here are the numbers for J.J.
.479 ERA, but look at the saves, 9 out of 13. He's been the guy pitching in the 9th inning. You got to get comfortable with that 9th inning. 47 strikeouts, 24 base on balls. You'd like to see him throw a little bit more strikes. He's getting better at throwing the ball over the plate, because one thing that can beat a closer is the ball 4, because 1 hit can't beat you. You ball 4 somebody, they can.
Bring up a good point, talking about the learning curve for this kid. The Mariners grooming him this year for that 9th inning. 9 out of 13, but now he has 9 out of 9 since he took over when Eddie Guardado had the surgery and his season was over. So he's been getting the job done here in the second half of the season. Chad Allen will lead things off for the Rangers. Joe West, the home plate umpire, over by the Mariners first base dugout. A little bit of a delay.
Went over to give Ichiro's autograph or something. Big Joe.
Hey, why not? Ichiro, 3 hits tonight. The new major league record for hits in a single season. Now has 259 as he moves by George Sisler. Congratulations, Ichiro. 0-1 the count on Chad Allen. We invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show because we're going to have a chance to talk with Ichiro tonight after the ball game. So please stay with us. After tonight's game, a visit with the all-time hit leader for a single season. Diving stop. Brett Boone from a knee. Wide throw to first. Gets on by Ibanez. And Chad Allen is safe at first base. That'll be an infield base hit. Good effort by Boone to get to the ball, but the throw to the outfield side of first base.
And this is the type of effort I'm talking about. You usually don't see this type of effort from a team 20-30 games back with nothing really to play for. But you have to play the game right, correctly, hustle all the time. And it's a tribute to the Mariners that they still play the game.
And 1 out for the Rangers here in the top half of the ninth. Here's center fielder Lance Nix. Ground ball wide of third. Dobbs cuts it off. Over to Boone. There's one. Relay to first. Double play. Got him. Around the horn. Nicely turned by Dobbs, Boone, and Ibanez. 2 outs for the Rangers here in the top half of the ninth. Good hustle by Greg Dobbs to start it.
Well, the key for the around the horn double play is to get the ball quickly to the second baseman so he can get the ball off. You see Ichiro right after the game. He'll be alive. And here we go with the when we talk about that standing ovation. I tried to get him to do it when he was going to get the first. He didn't get the first, but Ichiro doesn't get taken out for defensive replacements all the time. But this is more of standing ovation.
Here's the ovation for Ichiro. Tip of a cap to the crowd. The daughter of George Sisler here at the ballpark, Frances Drockelman. Her 2 sons and grandson are here. George Sisler's grandson, great grandson. 5 members of the Sisler family here at the ballpark. This is Adrian Gonzalez, the pinch hit. So Ichiro back inside the dugout, establishing the major league record tonight for hits in a single season. 3 hits tonight. He now has 259 for the year, breaking a record that has stood for 84 years. Fly ball, shallow center. Reed coming on, dives, slides, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. What a grab by Jeremy Reed in shallow center field, and the Mariners beat the Texas Rangers tonight 8-3. A very historic night for Ichiro, who breaks a record that has stood 84 years. He has the single season hit record now with 259. There's the family of George Sisler. There's his daughter, Frances Drockelman, here at Safeco Field tonight. What a night for Ichiro, the all-time hit leader for a single season. Congratulations, Ichiro.
And I think we saw right there, he's got a smile on his face. He finally took that game face off. We talked about his poker face leading up to this base hit to tie Sisler and to get the record. You see the smile of Ichiro, and you never see him smile like that, show the people and the public what he's thinking, but he's very, very happy to get this over with.
Very